Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's stream with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys tonight. Let me just confirm that you guys can hear me loud and clear, family. Go ahead and drop your locations in the chat. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. I see we got Chicago checking in. We got Wisconsin in the building. What's going on, family? We got Baltimore, Maryland, Swaziland in the house. Cali, Baltimore, Arkansas in the building. What is going on? Let's see. We got Trinidad in the house. Warren, what's going on, Warren? We got the 513 in the building as well. All right, Iraq in the house. We got St. Louis, Bronx, Toronto. Raven Nation, stand up 100%. I'm with you on that one for sure, for sure. All right, we got Charleston in the building. Arkansas, stand up. We got Alabama as well. So what's going on, family? All right, super excited to be here with every single one of you guys tonight. It's another night we're able to come over here, come together, look at the markets, analyze the markets, and pretty much come up with a blueprint, all right? Come up with a solid foundation that we can utilize going into tonight and then going into tomorrow, right? And see what we can ultimately really just come up with throughout the night, right? So that's going to be extremely excited, guys, overall. By all means, if you guys do have any questions, comments, or concerns throughout today, please, please, please do not hesitate to actually go ahead and ask. You know, it's very important, guys, for you guys to have clarity, right? So if you guys are confused on anything that I talk about tonight, you know, just ask for, for me to repeat it. You know, I'm one of these teachers, guys, where I actually enjoy repeating myself, right? Or it's not that I enjoy it, I don't stress it, right? Because I know you guys need it more than I care about actually doing it, right? So, you know, I'm here to provide you guys with value anyways at the end of the day. Right, but let's see what else we got in the building today. So we got ATL, what's up? We got Canada, we got Lagos in the building. Lost 3K on Euro CAD. Sorry to hear that, Andy. Let's see, check GBP CAD. You were talking about those shorts, 1,000 range is setting up nice. Keep an eye on it. I got you, Eric. We're definitely gonna keep an eye on that GCAD. Let's see, 64 trades, 10 so far this week. Nigeria in the building. New York, what's going on, family? Good to see you guys in the chat as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get straight into this, guys, and go straight into the news. You guys know that I'm very, very big into fundamental analysis, sentimental analysis, and utilizing that as a way to pretty much help me out, right? To help me understand what the market could be doing for certain currencies based off the actual data, right? So we actually did have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision today, right? You know, we were actually watching it earlier today, guys, for New York session. We were actually live, and we did actually see. I mean, we were live as it actually went through and stuff like that. And it was very interesting the move that they actually decided to do. You know, the Bank of Canada, they only decided to raise interest rates by 0.5%, right? So, or yeah, around 50 basis points. And the crazy thing about it is they were actually forecasted to raise it 75 basis points, right? But instead of 75, for some reason, they only decided to go ahead and do it. They decided to actually go ahead and go 50 basis point right now. The question that we got here is why and what can come next, right? Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. All right, all right, all right. So, like I was saying, guys, the Bank of Canada, they actually did end up raising their rates, which was expected. But what wasn't expected was what they did. You know, they only raised it around 0.5%, which was very interesting. They were supposed to raise it, or at least was forecasted to raise it around 0.75%. And because of that, we pretty much seen very interesting price action, right? Where the market itself, I mean, we had some whiplashing that actually happened. Overall, you can say that the CAD ended up gaining some type of strength off of the actual release, which kind of makes sense, right? Because if we're talking about, again, what all these central banks are trying to do, guys, fighting inflation, traditionally, we have to really understand how this is going to be looked at from an investor standpoint. All right. This is probably going to bring some optimism into the markets. The fact that they are starting to, they're still raising rates, but at a lower rate now. Going from 75 basis point, which is what they did last one, to now to 50, right? From an investor standpoint, you got to take that as, man, okay, maybe there is something happening, right? Maybe inflation is under control. And if we actually do go ahead and look into the Bank of Canada's interest rates, guys, over the past year or so, you can see, exactly what they've been doing, right? So the last report, they actually did raise it 75 basis points, right? So for them to go to 75 all the way back down to 50, I mean, again, they're definitely trying to bring some type of hope back into the markets overall. And it's a very interesting move, though, right? Very, very interesting move here for the CAD. Now, I wish I would have done a lot more research into, what their plans are, because I know that today they actually did release a bunch of statements regarding it. I just really, and just me being honest with y'all, I wasn't able to actually get into that and look into what the plans are for the Bank of Canada moving forward after this. But I will do some research on it and see what I can ultimately find, and then relay the message to you guys, right? Bring it back to you guys so you guys are aware exactly what is going on over there with the Bank of Canada for anybody that does trade, the Canadian pairs, right? So that's what we had to deal with overall for today, guys. That was of major, major importance. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Now, one thing that I am going to be interested in is going to be this, outlook report here for the Bank of Japan, right? And I get, I know we spoke about this again. I pretty much speak about these same things, guys, every single session, but it's important just to be aware of this stuff, right? But this outlook report could give us an outlook as to what the Bank of Japan is going to actually do. Right, the Bank of Japan has definitely been at the bottom of the totem pole. They're pretty much the only central bank right now that is at negative rates, at least the only major central bank, and their currency has been getting destroyed because of that. Right, so now they're probably going to start giving us some clues, guys, or some insights as to when they're probably going to end up reversing course. Right, and as traders, we should be aware of that, right, because that's going to affect these currencies for sure, right, especially all of these yen pairs, right, like pound yen, UJ. Right, we have to be mindful of those things. It definitely is going to shake the markets once the Bank of Japan does actually start to change their stance overall, right? So that's just something we got to keep our eyes on, guys, overall, and that's going to happen later on tonight, all right? And we'll see what that actually does come out as for sure. And then by tomorrow morning, we'll be able to actually talk about what, was actually said in that report. All right, so that's the news for today that we had to deal with, right? Let me go ahead and just catch up with the chat. We'll gold retest 1638. We'll take a look at gold in a few. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in Texas. I see you guys in Dallas. What's up? They had some positive economic indicators and took that as a sign to less hawkish. Yeah, it could be for sure. Let's see. We got Sheffield, UK in the building. We got New Jersey. What's going on, Linda? Good to see you in the chat as well. All right, so let's go ahead and go right into the markets, family, and see what has happened since I last spoke to you guys, right? And we actually did see that, the dollar, guys, overall pretty much run this level of structure right here. Now at this point, I'm expecting lower pricing here, all right? Like, we really are getting to a point, guys, where we could start to really see some, a weaker dollar, right? And this is something that we've been hinting at, and we've been, obviously talking about, right? It is that end of the year shift, right? That end of the year pump in the markets, right? Where just because it's holiday season, things like that, that's probably going to prop up, these markets, right? So it is very possible for this thing to actually stay bearish for the rest of the year, right? Or at least into elections, at least into November, probably the end of November, right? It's very possible. And just seeing what price has been doing with us breaking below this level of structure, I mean, it's literally only lining up for that thing to be even more likelier, right? So for right now, guys, I'm going to be riding probably the bearish momentum right now. All right, I'm going to be riding bearish momentum, right, for the dollar at least, right? I want to be bearish dollar. Now, if we're bearish dollar, how do we take advantage of something like that? All right, well, very simple, guys, right? If we are bearish, this is for all the people that are newer on the call. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I do this for y'all, right? But if we have a bearish dollar, then guess what? Anything that begins in USD should go up. Right? Very simple. This is basic correlation 101 here. All right? Anything that ends in USD should go down. Right? So very simple. If my bias is this, then when I'm looking at AUD USD, Euro USD, NZD USD, GBP USD, right? I should have a default bias of those currency pairs to possibly go up. Right, so look for the buys. If I'm expecting this to drop, and if this actually does drop, then guess what? Those pairs are going to go up. It has to. Right, those are the cross pairs. And vice versa. Right, USD CAD, USD JPY, USD Swiss. If we do see continuation to bearish side, then we will see those pairs drop as well. Why? Because we're talking about what the first currency is going to do against the second one. And if that first currency is going to gain strength or lose strength, that's what's going to tell us what price is going to do, right? So at this point, just looking on what I think, there's a very, very good chance that we do end up seeing price continuing to go lower. I think we're probably going to end up just running these lows right here, guys, and just continuously target back down to these downsides right now. I'm not sure how far we're going to go, but what I do know is that for right now, it does make sense for us to target, right? We could target just right back down to these lows for right now. And then from there, see what the market does end up actually doing from there, guys, right? But I definitely am liking the sell side for right now for the dollar, right? So with that said, let's actually go ahead and take a look at a few of these pairs right now. Again, keep in mind the correlations. Did I keep it up? No, I erased it, right? But keep in mind the correlations. So let's go ahead and go look at gold, right? We were actually talking about gold earlier today as well, right? Again, shout out to every single one of you guys that were a part of the New York session live this morning. For those of you guys that are not aware, family, the Profit Society is a platform that we have created, me, myself, and a few of my partners, to actually go ahead and give people, traders, a place to communicate and talk, right? And the cool thing about it is that we actually go live in here, right? Like, we actually go live inside of the platform. It's a social media platform for traders. If you guys are not inside of this platform or this community just yet, go to the profitsociety.co and go ahead and sign up, and you guys can go ahead and test out the platform, right? We haven't officially launched just yet, but we will be launching, guys, in just a couple of weeks. All right, officially launching, and then you guys will really be able to see, the entire platform, which is going to be dope, right? But, we did actually go live inside the platform this morning, and we spoke about gold, right? And we were looking for some buys off of this, just a little bit lower, right? Price didn't actually end up reaching to where I wanted to see it come, right? I wanted to see it come down into these levels right here, and then give us an opportunity to go bullish. If we're being honest, that is still a very possible play here, right? So I'm gonna be actually looking for that same exact situation here, guys, right? For gold, like, I want to see that same exact play, right? So if we can see price come down to around the 1657 level, 1656, then I think that could be a very good opportunity to go ahead and look for some longs, right? If we're able to see price do that. But there is a very good chance for price to make its way down and then go ahead and look, for some bullishness, right? So that is in my opinion, guys, a pretty good outlook right here. All right, I like it. I think it looks juicy, so I'll definitely be positioning myself to play that for sure. All right, seeing what happens. All right, so that's one opportunity, guys, that we can keep our eyes on going into tonight. Is there a way for us to actually go ahead and sell it down into these levels? I mean, you could, right? Just keep in mind it might be a little bit riskier. But technically you could if price gives it to us, right? But I'm not really necessarily focused on the sell. I just want to wait for the buy, right? So I'm not going to be chasing the sell. If it does sell off, though, that's cool. Then I'll just look for the buy opportunity, right? So that's my focus here on gold, guys. I really want to see a price take off from around that 1657, 1656 level. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Let's go down the line. We got Euro USD. Again, Euro USD is a super sexy looking pair right now because it does the exact opposite of what the dollar does. All right, so I'm going to be looking for some more buyers here, guys. Right, I'm looking for some more buys right now on Euro USD. Right, so if we can see price again push right back down, right? If we can see price push right back down, I would love to see an opportunity for us to buy somewhere around this 1.00 level, right? I think that could be a very good opportunity for us to continue looking for these buys right here. I think for right now, that's a very attractive outlook. I think it's very possible. I mean, just look at the order flow of the market. All right, we just been creating these steps right now, going higher and higher, and I think that we're probably going to continue to go higher and higher for right now. At least until we get all the way back up into these highs up here. All right, when we come back up into these highs up here, this is when we can really start to, see what the market is eventually going to do. But I'm bullish right now, right? I'm bullish right now, Euro USD. So any minor pullback that we see, I'm definitely looking for some continuations. Now, the way that I trade personally, right? I'm always taking into account, guys, my trading ranges, right? So we have this swing low, the swing high right here. This is my trading range, right? So for me, how I trade it, I do not take a trade unless we actually see some type of a deep pullback. Why? Because in comparison to the actual range, I want to make sure that if I'm buying something, guys, I'm buying it at a level that makes sense, right? I'm buying it at a discount price point, right? So I need to see price drop at least 50% of this entire range that we have here before I even consider doing anything. And the reason why I bring that up is because there is going to be there's going to be times where it just doesn't give us that deep correction, right? And then we end up missing out on the trade. It is what it is, right? What you don't want to do, guys, is that you start missing out on some setups because you're not getting those deeper corrections that you want to see, and then you start jumping in and you start forcing trades. Right now, you're over here dealing with FOMO, right? Now you're over here trying to rush out and all that good stuff, right? And I say that because again, it has happened in the past. Look at right here, right? We had this big strong up, and we didn't really get no deep pullback, and this thing went higher, right? And then we had this pullback right here was pretty decent, and then we went higher. So there is a chance for price to not even actually give us his pullback, but that does not defeat the fact that I'm still gonna wait for that damn pullback, right? And that's the only way that I'm gonna be looking for a play here, all right? Is if we get the pullback. If we don't get the pullback, then I don't care. I don't have no interest in actually trading that unless we get the pullback, okay? But let me go ahead and catch up on a few of these comments. Glad to be a part. Can't wait to join the premium crew. Let's go, Native God. Appreciate you. All right, it's definitely going to be absolutely next level, especially the premium package, right? For because the actual Profit Society platform, guys, for the most part, is going to be free. All right, it's a free platform for anybody to use. You just communicate. But there is going to be some premium services as well on the back end, right? That you can actually upgrade to, and it'll just give you a lot more in-depth outlook into how we really trade. All right, but let's see what else we got here. Let me catch up. Chicago plugging in. Shout out to my Chicago squad. What's going on, Christian? Good to see you. All right, Oklahoma City in the building. Trader Rico, what's good, dog? I appreciate you for tuning in. Let's see. Will the market always clear out imbalances, right? That's a great question. And typically, most of the time they do, right? But there are opportunities, guys, and there are times where these imbalances just do not close right away, right? It's the same thing as like what you see, at the beginning of the week when you get like a gap in the market, right? You see like a big open space in the market, right? Most people assume that those gaps are going to fill right away, right? And that's just not true, right? These imbalances, these gaps, these fair value, gaps and things like that, they don't have to close right away, right? I mean, if you just look at EURUSD here in the 15, right? We have a bunch of little imbalances that were left behind, right? A bunch of imbalances that was left behind this whole move, right? A bunch of imbalances, right? All this is telling us the more imbalances that are left behind, the more liquidity now that we're going to have to go ahead and target, right? So whenever we do end up going back bearish for EURUSD, because we are still technically long-term bearish, right? Let's not lose sight of that, right? Just because I'm saying right now we're bullish does not change the overall macro. The macro outlook is that we are still very much bearish. It's just for right now, we should start to see, higher pricing at least throughout this week. But once we do turn around, guess what? All of these levels are going to be areas where we eventually go ahead and close the imbalances. But more importantly, we start to capture all this liquidity that was now being left behind, right? So to answer your question, again, most of the times they do fill, but it's not as quick as probably you would want it to, right? What most traders want to, right? Yeah, they can close quick. At times that, there is times where they, those gaps and those imbalances close quick as hell. But then there are times where it takes months to close, right? Years to even close. So that's why I stopped trying to trade gap fills and imbalance fills a while ago, right? Just because I really didn't have too much success always trying to expect it to close, right? So let's see what else we got here, though. That was a good question, though, by the way. Let's see what we got here. What is back testing and forward testing? I thought I was just testing how my strategy works, but forward testing is a new term for me. Let me see. Give me 1 second, family. Let's see, 122 watching. Let's get this likes up. You can't get this sauce nowhere else for free. I appreciate that, Ron. Yeah, family, if you guys are getting some value tonight, definitely go ahead and just smash the like button. Again, I do provide these, these sessions truly because I enjoy it, right? Not just because I want y'all to learn, but I actually enjoy doing this stuff, right? So, You know, if you support me doing this, if you support my channel, then definitely go ahead and smash that like button, right? Definitely appreciate you guys tremendously for that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Euro odd, please. Did you end up taking the buy? Let's go look at Euro odd. Right, so Euro odd is actually doing pretty well, guys, from what we actually were talked about right now. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys and be transparent, I did not actually end up jumping into this position. All right, I was already in a couple other trades, and I didn't want to overexpose myself. But this was still, I mean, it was a really good play, right? And it's still playing out. You know, depending on where you decide to take your trade, you might be in 50, 60 pips of profit. So yeah, overall, it's still doing its thing for the most part. I do think that we still are going to be able to target higher. So I'm still very much bullish on Euro AUD. I just think now we might actually be able to wait for the next opportunity. All right, I don't want to just jump in up here at these highs we're at now on the 5-minute time frame. But if we can see a pullback here, then I would be very interested in looking for that continuation. All right, so somewhere maybe below, anything below, I would say this 1.548. Right around that 1.548 level, I think that could be a very good opportunity, guys, to go ahead and look for some longs here on Euro AUD. Right, in fact, I'm gonna keep that one on my radar because, like I said, I wasn't able to actually take the initial entry, but now I don't have as many trades open, so we could actually go ahead and add this one to the arsenal if we are able to go ahead and see that push down. Right, but this doesn't look bad. I like it. I think we do have a very good chance and a very high probability of this to go higher. All right, so I like that for sure. Let's see. I think it's very interesting to see what the Bank of Canada. They wonder how the Federal Reserve going to do there. Are they going to let their foot off the gas? That's the question. Would the Fed pivot? A lot of investors expecting them to pivot end of 2023. Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point that you brought up, Brian. We already just talked about it earlier when I was going over the Bank of Canada thing. But that what the Bank of Canada did, guys, right? It was definitely unexpected. Just because, again, their inflation is still pretty much high. It's not like their inflation overall completely collapsed. Now, we actually did look at earlier today, you know, what the Bank of Canada's inflationary rates has been, right? What their CPI data has been recently, right? And I believe the reason why they actually did only do 50 is because, I mean, they have been dropping, right, for the past few months, for the past few releases. They have technically been dropping their CPI, right? Nothing crazy though, right? Like nothing crazy, nothing drastic that will cause for a 50 basis point rate hike, right? But it has technically been dropping, but so has the U.S., right? So that definitely was a very interesting move on their behalf, in terms of just raising it only 50. And I'm trying to see if I could find when the next CPI is for the CAD just so we can confirm that. But yeah, I don't know. Right, but yeah, it's definitely a very interesting move on their behalf. I think again, just because they have started to see lower CPIs for the last few readings, it's starting to get their hopes up, I guess. But I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't bite them in the butt. Let's see. In great insight, is that how Skaggs is able to hold them trades for months? Very possible, right? That boy Skaggs is different. What's your favorite fib levels to catch the trade, right? So I don't use Fibonacci to actually catch trades on. I use Fibonacci simply just to tell me if we're in discounted or premium price points, right? That's literally it, right? It's either we're in discounted or premium price points, right? I don't use fibs to actually take the trades off of. Let's see, come on, guys. 133 watching and only 42 likes. Let's give it a hug with the likes. I appreciate that, DJ. Let's see, Abel, can you check USD PLN? Oh, my goodness. All right, yeah, let's go take. I don't think I've ever looked at that pair in my life. What is that, right? The Polish zloty. Is this what you're talking about right here? Are you talking about this one right here? The Polish zloty. Is it, yeah, is this what you're talking about, Matt? Let me know, right? Because, I mean, I've never seen this chart in my life, but it could be a play. All right, it could be a play. So yeah, let's see what we got here, right? The Polish zloty, right? So overall, what has the Polish zloty been doing? Pretty much the same thing a lot of these other U.S. dollar pairs have been doing for the most part. We are starting to see a lot of bearishness come through, just like we have been, just because the dollar has been extremely weak. Again, I do think at this point, we could expect some possible follow through, some continuations in this dollar weakness, right? So if I was to be trading this Zloty, it will probably be seeing price come up to this 4.74 level and then just looking for, some continuations, right? Overall, though, I definitely just would look for lower pricing here, right? As long as I'm bearish the dollar, right? I'm bearish the dollar as a whole. Every currency should be some type of strengthful, right? Have some type of strength if we're just overall selling the dollar. Even the Zloty over here, the Zloty or the Zloty, whatever the heck you call it, right? But yeah, that's how I will be looking for. I'll be looking for some lower pricing as of right now. All right, now again, there is, if the Zloty just starts to give us a lot of strength, then maybe we might be able to change bias. But yeah, I like the continuations for right now. All right, I like the continuation for right now. Right, big shout out to our newest subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to y'all so much. I'm from Poland, right? Yeah, I should have figured that, right? But big shout out to you, Matt. I can't wait to make my way out to Poland and do an event out there. That'll be pretty fire. All right, let's see. You are the best. I appreciate that. What pair is that? First time seeing it. I never traded that before yet. I don't think many of us have never traded the Polish Zloty. All right. The only thing about these exotics like this is the spread. Like the spread for these exotics, guys, like don't even make it worth it to even try to trade some of these, exotic currency pairs like this. Right? Like looking at, let's see if they even have the spread up here. Like I don't even know if they even have this on the broker. Let me see. Oh, they do. Okay. Okay. Let's see what the spread is for this, right? So the spread for the USD PLN is golly, it is 40 pips spread. That is a 40 pip spread, right? So what does that mean? That means the moment you decide to jump into a trade, you are instantly negative 40 pips, right? That is the spread. The spread is what? It's the difference between the ask and the sell price, right? So depending on if you're taking a buy or a sell, right, you're probably going to be in the negative a whole lot of pips because the spread is just so big, right? So that's the only thing. Now, on the flip side, these exotics do move very, very, very quickly as well, all right? So although it is a 40 pip spread, like these type of exotics, like they are usually extremely, extremely volatile currencies, right? So they move in terms of pips, usually a lot of pips. All right, so let's actually see this last drop that we seen here, right? This is a lot of pips, right? Like look, this is a 1 hour drop. This was when did this happen? So New York session, right? New York session drop. Again, a lot of freaking pips throughout the day. This is just one day. Like I don't even know how many pips this truly is, right? What 50? My guess is around what 500 pips in a day. 500 pips in a day, right? So again, there is pros and cons to it. That spread is absolutely disgusting, though. But if you can weather the spread, then I mean, yeah, you can catch some bangers, right? You can catch some at least some good long positions, right? But that's the Poland. All right, let's see. Look at GCAD liking the reaction. I'm in that EA, great level. Yep. GJ thoughts. Yep. All right, let's go take a look at those. Right. So let's go GCAD first, and then go ahead and go GJ. Just keeping it in order. Now GCAD is interesting, right? We've been talking about GCAD guys pretty much since yesterday. I was looking for price to actually. Well, I kind of flip flopped, right? I kind of flip flopped from what I wanted to see last night to what I wanted to see this morning. All right. And it's literally just because of obviously the price action that we started to actually notice. Right. Because now we're up at these levels, guys, of structure where, we are at some highs that are very interesting, right? Some interesting points of interest. But what we actually did is we actually ended up spiking above this high and we ended up just closing back below it. Now, I say that to say this. There is a good chance that we actually do end up seeing price go ahead and roll over here. Right, for GCAD. Now, if we're able to see that, then we could be positioning ourselves for that big move that we've been talking about. All right, I've been talking about GCAD could be a possible banger. All right, and I really like it. All right, so it is very possible for that. Right, we can see again something like this, We have all this trend line right here that's probably building up all this liquidity, right? So I want to see this thing run the trend line and then go ahead and go lower, right? In fact, what I really want to see is something like this first, right? Because we do have this wick right here that probably will eventually get filled, right? So I would like to see something like this, right? I would like to see this spike up, fill that wick, and then immediately come back down and then go ahead and start giving us lower pricing like that, right? So that would be an ideal play, right? That's what I would like to see. Doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen that way, right? But if it does, just know I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be waiting. I'm gonna have my finger on the trigger, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull that thing, right? So that's gonna be something to be keeping my eyes on for sure, guys. But if we can get this, like, just know, like, back down to this wick, it's a big boy move. Big boy and big girl pips right here, guys. It's around 1,700 pips. 1,700 pips, right? We need that. So that could be an absolute banger. And just to add some fundamentals into it too, just so you guys are aware, it's not. I don't really, especially like these longer term ideas, right? It's never gonna be strictly off of just technicals, right? So from a fundamental perspective, I'm definitely a lot more on the CAD side in terms of which currency is actually going to be more stronger. You know, if we really look at GBP CAD, guys, from a bigger perspective overall, I mean, this entire year has been getting wrecked, right? And it's because the CAD has just been, stronger currency, right? And since the CAD actually just raised rates, even though it wasn't as aggressive, they're still technically raising rates, right? So I think that the CAD strength is going to be a lot more dominant than the pound strength, right? Because it has a lot more attractive offering, right? Especially with the 4% interest rate that they're at now, or the 3.75%, right? So I'm very much bearish this. It's just a matter of, seeing what the market gives us. If we can go ahead and get this nice push up, fill this wick, and then go ahead and turn around, and yeah, that's really what I'm gonna be waiting for and see what we can get for sure. All right, so that's the play here, guys, for GBP CAD. Let's go look at GJ. All right, see what we got here for GJ. All right, so GJ was very interesting, right? It's pretty much been doing, though, everything that we said it was gonna do at the start of the week. Since the start of the week, guys, we have, I mean, at least I have been saying that probably just gonna continue going higher and higher. And that's exactly what we literally have been doing. All right, we literally have been going higher and higher. I had an initial entry at the start of the week somewhere down here at these levels. Wrote it up. I ended up taking profit back up at here. But now looking at it, I kind of wish I would have held. This thing is just going up and up and up. Now, what can we actually expect next, though? Well, I'm definitely leaning towards more continuations more than anything here. I think we're probably going to see higher pricing for sure, in my opinion. But I'm not really. I would be interested in it if we can actually see price come a little bit lower, right? Because I'm not really too interested in up at these levels right here. I think it's more so going to set people up, right? So I would like to see price, guys, come down to this level, clear this 169. Right, and if we clear that 169, then I like to rebound and then go ahead and look for that continuation, right? But I'm really not interested in no long-term buy opportunities until we actually come down here and clear all these lows out, right? Clear all this liquidity, right? So that's going to be my play for going into tonight. If we can run these lows, amazing. Once we rebound and get back above this structure point, right, then I'll start looking for some buys on a retest, right? So that's going to be my play, right? Very simple, very straight to the point. I'm still bullish. I still want to see higher pricing here for GJ. So we just gotta, wait and see what the market does give us. All right. So yeah, if we can go ahead and fill this wick and see price come back down to this 169.2, we'll go ahead and take advantage of it. All right. So that's GJ, right? Let's see what else we got here. I like the knowledge you're dropping. I appreciate that quality assurance, man. Definitely try my best to be as educated as possible, but I'm not new to this neither. I have been trading for a while now, right? I've been putting in a lot of time, right, for the past 8 years, right? In fact, like, it's been 8 years this month, right? 8 years this month, right? We got to celebrate that, right? That's big for me, right? Big shout out to my damn self. Let me give myself a nice little pat on the back, right? 8 years this month, right? And I say that, because majority of traders, they're usually in and out within their first 12 months, right? Like, majority of traders, guys, do not make it past 12 months of actually doing this seriously, right? So, Yeah, I'm on 8 years this month, right? And it's been an absolute journey, but it's been a blessing, right? Every single aspect of it for sure, right? But yeah, let's see. Look at US 30. Let's go take a look at Dirty 30 real quick. See what Dirty 30 is doing. Let's see. All right, so Dirty 30. All right, US 30 is very interesting. So this is pretty much what we were looking at and we were talking about earlier today. During New York session, seeing if price would just continue going bullish. I believe that's what we pretty much predicted, and the market really didn't do too much today, right? I mean, we were technically going higher, but very slow moving day here for US 30. Now, in terms of opportunities, right? For right now, I think there's a good chance for price to actually go ahead and go bearish off of here. Now, I don't think we're gonna go all the way back down to these lows per se just yet. Um, but I do think that there is gonna be an opportunity to short this market. Right, definitely up at these levels. At least I would be looking for a nice opportunity off of these levels. Right, this nice little supply zone right up here. Right, so around this 32,300. I really think that there could be an opportunity to go lower. Now, again, the reason why I'm not going to try to ride it out so far so low is, certain things that we've been talking about, guys, right? Like, there is such a thing as seasonality for these currency pairs and these assets that we're trading in these indices, right? They do move certain ways based off the season. Now, again, just based off common logic, right? We're going into the holiday season. We have Black Friday, right? We have traditionally all these holidays that's going to cost people a lot of money, right? Which is going to boost up sales across the board, which is probably going to boost up, right, earnings for these businesses and these corporations that are in the stock market, right? So because of that, because of the end of the year rally that I'm thinking could actually happen, right, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually did see this thing go ahead and turn around and continue higher, just like how I'm expecting the dollar to give us a U-turn. There could be a chance where we do see these indices give us a nice little U-turn right now, right? At least for right now, going into the end of the year, right? So that's really where I'm at right now, guys, with these indices, right? And again, I could be very wrong. Like I said, I say this almost all the time, right? But I just want you guys to be aware of that, right? I could be wrong, but that's just pretty much what I'm picking up right now, right? And what I would like to actually see personally speaking. So looking for a sell going into tonight or tomorrow morning is probably not going to be a bad idea. I mean, shoot, looking for a buy to get us up into that sell zone is also probably not a bad idea, all right? So if we could look, for these little opportunities, guys, and there could be a chance for some higher pricing here, all right? Literally right back at this level right here, right? If we can see, price come back into here, then yeah, we could possibly even look for a nice little buy opportunity just like this, right? Us right up into that zone. Right, very, very possible play here. All right, now for me, if I'm being honest, I don't like to trade these indices outside of New York session. But sometimes these currencies don't care about the session, right? And they make a move, out of session, right? It is very possible. So it's up to you, though. It's up to you. It's whatever works best for you, right? For me, again, I trade actively, like live trade, right, during New York session. That's my That's my time when I'm trading, right? When I'm locked in. So that's why I like to trade these indices during New York session. But again, that doesn't mean they can't move during out of session. All right. So this is not a bad play though, guys. Right. If we see price come back down to here, we could realistically see some higher pricing here on US 30. All right. So that's that. Let's see what else we got here. CAD yen. We could look at CAD yen for sure. Right, but that's what I'm looking at for US 30, guys. See what the market does end up giving us overall. But yeah, that's like a short-term intraday opportunity. Probably going into tomorrow. Let's look at CAD yen. Whew, man, I've been sneezing like crazy today. All right, let's see what we got here, guys, for CAD yen. All right, so CAD yen for the most part, again, just like a lot of these other yen pairs, I'm still very much bullish. All right, so I do still want to look for higher pricing here. We just haven't really done much, obviously, the past 24 hours, besides this little sell-off. But overall, guys, I'm still very much bullish. All right, I am still very, very much bullish, right? So what I want to see now is I want to see if price can come down, right? Maybe closer to around this 107.3 level, right down near all the way at this wick. You know, maybe if we see price come down to that wick, see a swipe of it, and then we go ahead and potentially rebound bullish, right? Because I'm looking for higher pricing here, right? I do fully expect this to continue in this bullish trend that we've been in. It's just now being patient, waiting for that entry, right? Waiting for that opportunity. But looking for price around these levels that we're currently about to be at is probably not a bad bet, right? So yeah, if we can go ahead and clear these, clear this wick right here, go ahead and fill this wick, clear it, and then rebound, then that could be a beautiful, beautiful buy opportunity, guys, here for CAD yen, right? But I'm definitely bullish on this. That's what I'll be looking for, right? Is the buy opportunity. Let's see. Big tech missed on earnings and indices rally down. VIX low. What is going to happen tomorrow and Friday, right? That's a good question, right? Who knows, right? Who really knows what the hell is going to happen, right? But a lot of these earnings reports, especially from a lot of these big time Fortune 500 companies, pretty much across the board, the overall consensus has been that a lot of these companies have been missing, right? They have not been, their earnings have not been coming out as predicted, right? But again, that is to be expected, right? Because of everything that we've been saying, that has to be expected. I mean, we've been talking about this, guys, literally since, I started going live with y'all on YouTube, right? About how these central banks, or not the central banks, right? But how these companies are affected by the decisions and the policies that the central bank implements, right? Raising interest rates not just only affects us as consumers, right? But it affects employers too, right? In fact, it affects these businesses too, right? A higher interest rate and all these different things that they're talking about and they're doing is pretty much is cutting the profit margin for these businesses, right? So yeah, we should expect lower earnings. That's expected. But now, going into the end of the year, this is where we probably see a rebound, though. All right, so let's see what else we got here, though. Congratulations. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the congrats. I'm looking to start a live account in the new year, and congrats. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, so I'm bullish on CAD yen, though, guys. Bullish on CAD yen. Let's see. What do you think about gold? So I already looked at gold. Big shout out to our newest subscriber. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Familia Sakati. Let's get it. Let's get it. Shout out to you. All right. But for gold, again, this is the only thing I'm looking for gold. I want to look for a buy down here. All right, 1656 buys, 1656 buys. Right, that's the only thing I'm looking for gold. 1656 buys. What do you think about odd Swiss? Right, when was the last time I looked at odd Swiss? I mean, over here I got some markings, so it's probably recent. All right, so let's see what we got here for odd Swiss. If I'm being honest, I rarely ever trade Swiss pairs, ever. But we can see what's going on here, see what the heck has been happening over here. So I think at this point, guys, for odd Swiss, there could be, just looking at price action on these smaller time frames. All right, again, we did have this level of support. We've seen price actually break below it, but we just ended up closing back above it, right? So I think there's a good chance for price to now actually start to correct some, right? Overall, we have seen more bearish pushes, so that's probably what is controlling the market overall, is this bearishness. But for right now, I think there could be a possibility, guys, for us to look for some higher pricing, right? I would like to see us come back up into these levels, right? That would be pretty juicy. That'll be very juicy, right? So I will be looking for some buy setups, guys, just all throughout today, tomorrow, all up until we get up into this level. All right, but I do think that there is a very, very good chance for price to make its way up there, right? So I'm bullish, odd Swiss all the way up into there. Now, where could we look for some opportunities to get in from? Right, well, just look at structure. All right, look at structure, right? We have this level right here. That is gonna be probably the obvious level we want to pay attention to. All right, so let's start going to lower time frame now. See what we got here. Yeah, so I really do like that level right there, guys. So if we can see price come back down to here, that could be a nice opportunity for us to go ahead and go long on, right? So that's my bias here on odd Swiss. I would like buys around that 0.636 level. Juicy. All right, very, very juicy. So that's what I'll be looking for that. Let's see, GBP USD. Let's go look at pound dollar, right? So we already spoke about pound dollar as well earlier. But for the pound dollar, I'm definitely going to be just looking for continuations to the upside, right? So if we can see price come back down, maybe below this 1.159 level and rebound, and that would be very attractive to me, right? Looking for buys below 1.159 is probably the one thing that I'm gonna be looking for going into tonight for GBP USD, right? Straight to the point, very simple, not overcomplicating it. You know, I want to see price go ahead and run this 1.159 level, and then we'll start looking for some buys. Let's see how you feel about the ECB news and how will that impact, right? So what ECB news are you referring to? What ECB news are you referring to? Let's see. Let's see if there's anything major on investing.com. Let's actually go currencies. Let's see, dollar edges lower, likely intervention, possible Fed pivot. So you like all these articles are literally just talking about dollar selling off because of speculations of a pivot, right? That word pivot is such a powerful word right now, right? The fact that that word pivot could really change sentiment is crazy, right? But that is very, very true, right? So but that's going to be interesting, guys, overall to see what happens. But these are what I'm looking for tonight. Again, the main ones, Euro AUD is going to be on my radar. Gold is going to be on my radar. Both of them are going to be some buy opportunities. Euro USD as well is probably going to be on my radar. Looking for some just continuations possibly down here if we can see it happen. I think that would be super, super juicy as well. All right, so we'll see what happens. If we can go ahead and see that happen, that would be pretty dope. Let's see. Rates tomorrow. Okay. That is interesting. Let's see what we got for tomorrow. Oh, yeah, we do got the ECB interest rate decision, right? So I definitely forgot about that. But, yeah, we do got tomorrow's actually going to be a very interesting, guys. An interesting day, at least, right, in the morning. With the monetary policy statement, the interest rate decision. Obviously, right now, by looking at this, they're expected to raise rates by 0.75%, 75 basis points. So that's going to be interesting, right? Are they actually going to do 75? Now that Canada did what Canada ended up doing, I'm pretty sure a lot of traders and investors are now probably going to be like, man, is the ECB going to do what the Canada just did? It's very possible. All right, now I don't think so. I believe ECB is definitely going to go ahead and do this 75 basis points, just because they just had their CPI readings last week, right? And their CPI actually went up higher, right? Their CPI, guys, their inflation is at 10% over there, right? So the ECB not only needs to do 75 basis points, but they need to consider doing a full 100 basis points at this point, right? Because their inflation is just running rapid over there, right? So it's still going up crazy. So I'm fully expecting them to continue to raise rates by 75 minimum. So that's what I'll be writing, right? So we could experience, some euro strength off of this, right? So I will be, and that's pretty much aligning too with what I want to see anyways, right? I want to see higher pricing here for the euro, right? So if we do come out at that 75 basis point, or even, again, I doubt it's going to happen, but even that full 100 basis point, I mean, it's aligning itself up with a bullish euro, right? So that I like that. I like that a lot. But that's definitely going to be very interesting to see exactly what it does come out at. But yeah, I do think there is a very good opportunity, guys, for us to look for some continuations, even with this news. Now, the other one that we have to pay attention to as well is going to be this GDP report, right? We do have our first release here of GDP for Q3, right? Again, GDP is definitely one of the major tier 1 data releases. It just gives us an insight into how our economy is doing as a whole. Are we expanding? Are we contracting as an economy? Right, and yeah, we're gonna be able to get our first release of Q3. Right, have we expanded or have we contracted as an economy in Q3? Right now, family, what do you guys think? What is your guys' prediction for that? right? What is your guys' predictions for that, right? What do you guys think happened, right, tomorrow? Do you guys think that the U.S.'s economy expands or contracts, right? Are we gonna have growth or are we gonna have no growth, right? Negative growth. What do you guys think, right? Honest opinions. I love participation. What do you guys think, right? Because right now they're actually predicting, GDP to come out at 2.4%, right? So growth compared to the last quarter, right? They're expecting growth from the last quarter, right? So that's their prediction. But these guys are always wrong, right? So just not always, but whoever be coming up with these forecasts and these predictions, I like they're usually very wrong for some reason, right? So, but what do you guys think? Let's see. Contracted, contraction, growth, especially with low earnings reports. Yep, there we go. That's a good way to put two and two together, Desmond. Whoever put the forecast is high, I agree, right? I agree that they're high, right? So I'm thinking that we're gonna contract again. Again, they're guys like we've only seen interest rates go higher. Interest rates directly affect spending, right? Why do you think the Fed utilizes it as a tool, right? Like they can literally manage, right, if they want people to spend money like crazy or if they want people to stop by simply playing around with interest rates. So my guess, I do think that is probably going to contract, right? We're probably going to see a negative GDP number come out. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. In fact, let's actually go ahead and look at what the Atlanta Fed is talking about, right? Let's see, GDP now tracker. All right, I don't know if you guys knew that this was possible, right? But you can actually do this from the Atlanta Fed, and it's an actual GDP tracker, right? So let's see what they're actually predicting. So they're actually predicting it to come out higher. All right, so the Fed right now's prediction is for GDP to come out around 3.1%, right, which is actually higher than what they're expecting over here on investing.com. Holy moly, right? So this is interesting. Right now, how accurate is this actual GDP now thing? I mean, it's usually pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie. So now after looking at this, even if we don't come out at that 3%, there is a possibility that we do actually come out some type of bullish, right? But this is gonna be interesting, right? Obviously, we'll see what happens afterwards. But this is gonna be my predictions, guys. If we do actually end up coming out, um, I think either way, it's going to be like there's no win-win right now for the U.S., right? Because if we do actually see this thing go to 2.4% to 3%, that's not good. We don't want to see our economy growing right now. We really don't, all right? Because fighting inflation, in order for us to do that, we need to see contraction. So if we do come out positive, how are investors and how is the Fed going to look at that? And how are investors going to believe that the Fed sentiment going to be off of that? Right, so again, we really don't want to see growth right now, which is kind of crazy to say, but if the goal is to fight inflation, we don't want to see growth. Okay, so if it does come out bullish or if it does come out above that 2.4%, 3%, so on and so forth, we might actually see short-term strength in the indices, but it probably will end up being short-lived. So that's going to be very interesting, guys, for sure, to see exactly how it comes out. But what's going to be more interested is how the actual market reacts to that, right? That's what I'm going to be more. How is the market going to react to GDP coming out the way that it does, right? So that's something we have to be aware of for sure. All right, but yes, but that's definitely what we have on the radar for tomorrow as well. Right, so I mean that's pretty much what we're gonna be looking for going into tonight, guys. Again, my favorite setup is definitely probably gonna be this Euro AUD. If we can go ahead and see price come back down to this 1.548. I'll definitely be looking for some higher pricing for sure on this, right? And then we have Euro USD, and then we have gold. All right, but without further ado, family, that's gonna be it for me tonight. I do appreciate you guys so much. I do got an early morning tomorrow, right? But I will be live with you guys for New York session, trading live with you guys in New York session via the Profit Society platform, right? So if you want to be on those live sessions, guys, again, it is free. Right, to train with me and my team. I got a team of savages with me, right? Like the traders that I trade with, like these guys are legit, right? So definitely make sure to be there. Definitely make sure to be on the call. Again, you have to be actually a part of the platform. You have to be an actual member of the platform to actually get on the calls. So go do that. I'll see you guys on the inside, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. But all right, family, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all, and I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Let's get it, y'all. Have a great rest of your guys' night.